The Department of Energy and the lighting industry are on their way to phasing out energy-guzzling incandescent light bulbs. Both say they're proceeding with caution, although the gauntlet that is the road to LEDs. Clean Skies Dipka Bhambhani takes a look in part 2 of our series on LED development.
In the 2007 Energy Act, the U.S. Congress sent out a tall order to the Energy Department about inefficient incandescent bulbs. Get them off the shelves by 2014.
What Congress did was say that these bulbs, or the bulbs we're going to use in our homes and business, should be about 25% more efficient than they are today.
That has bulb manufacturers working arduously with an eye toward what they say is the next big development in lighting technology, the LED. Light-emitting diodes began appearing in commercial applications first. From brake lights to traffic signals to flashlights, the LED has already become ubiquitous.
The reason LEDs are such high profile today is that the performance of them will not be by 10 or 20 or 30 or 50%, but by well over 100%, up to 900 or 1,000% in terms of efficacy improvements.
Lighting experts say driving down electricity use with the bulb is one thing. Driving up demand for the LED in the residential market is the real challenge. Dowling says to drive up demand, the bulb needs to compete on all levels with what Americans are used to, in particular, the 60-watt incandescent that fills the market today.
What we don't want to see happen, and we've been very careful in engaging with the Department of Energy on this matter, is a repeat of what we saw in compact fluorescence, which was the single solitary benefit they had was energy efficiency, but on every other measure they failed miserably. And that includes warm-up time, bad color, flicker, inability to work with dimmers, and so forth. And what we're trying to prevent is a repeat of that. And so labeling programs and measurement methods and standards are all being put in place to ensure that LED lamps meet minimum thresholds. And so for residential applications, that's been a primary focus.
One factor working in favor of LEDs is the fact that compact fluorescents contain mercury, a biohazard that's difficult to dispose of. LEDs are seen as safer. They don't contain hazardous elements, and the bulbs do not shatter when dropped. But LEDs are still relatively expensive, which keeps demand low. Also, there are no standards. That means each manufacturer can put their version of a white light LED on the market. Some white lights may appear blue, and after time may start to degrade and appear in other colors. Because an LED draws less energy from an outlet than an incandescent or a CFL, the LED in some cases may require a special lamp ballast. Typical incandescent fusing requirements are too strong for LEDs, and fuses may need to be adjusted in the home to work with existing electrical systems. Manufacturers of LEDs say they hope to replace CFLs with LEDs in the U.S. within 5 years, but agree the LED residential market is still under construction. Lighting experts say for now, it's all about cost.
Right now, LEDs are the most expensive light source you can buy, and cost drives everything at this point.
As for demand, Ray says first, consumers need to realize that while they may pay more at the retail level, they will see savings on their electric bills.
Until consumers realize that that's going to be the savings, is not what they buy off the shelf, but what they see in their electric bill month after month after month, that's going to be that's the biggest driving force.
Hogan at DOE says she's working hard with manufacturers to get reliable, energy-efficient products onto the U.S. market. Then, she says consumers can begin saving energy and dollars. That'll help drive demand, and the costs will naturally decline.
If we can get the bulbs that we're using to be about 25% more efficient, we will save across the country about $2 billion a year in our energy bills. So it's just a great step for us to be taking for energy efficiency.
The Deputy Assistant Secretary admits it's going to take the heavy hand of DOE to make sure the LEDs work like they say they will. DOE will set standards and test the lamps of all U.S. manufacturers and require them to label their boxes appropriately to give consumers confidence in the product. Hogan says the best way to find a reliable LED will be to look for the Energy Star label. Hogan says the label ensures a higher level of efficiency, not just for bulbs, but for dozens of appliances in the U.S. market.
We're taking a number of steps to see that there's quality product in the marketplace for consumers to find. And I think what we do is encourage consumers, to do a little bit of research when they're buying these products and really find the ones, such as those that carry the Energy Star, that they can rely on.
Mark Ray has been working with lamp manufacturers for years. He said aside from cost and demand, identifying the quality of an LED may be a challenge for the average consumer because it's not exactly black and white.
It's hard to know exactly what you're going to get from some manufacturers. Some manufacturers are more selective in their LEDs. If you're in an application, say a residential application where a slight color shift is no big deal, then it's not so important. But if you're buying LEDs that you're going to put into an LED television, and over the next 5 years, all of your white LEDs are going to become green LEDs, and that's not really overly perceptible, but it could affect things.
Walter Liedzerson, who sells LEDs for top manufacturers, says it's important consumers know what to look for in an LED or not to look for.
Some of the lesser qualities will be more blue. It's not particularly flattering to our complexion, or does it make it easy for us to discern the colors of items we may be looking at. So, for instance, jewelry or clothing, it's very important that the lighting is of the right color or close to natural light.
Now, DOE says there's no real way to protect U.S. consumers from faulty LEDs manufactured overseas, which could become another wrinkle on the road to LED adoption. Most experts agree that when the LED hits the residential market, though, it's expected to capture a large market share almost immediately. It's expected to take over the incandescent market over 40 watts and most, if not all, CFLs, which now make up about 15% of the U.S. lamp market. In Washington, Dipka Bhambhani, Clean Skies News.